Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to part 3, the final part of Ask the King for February 22nd, 2018, episode 69. All right, folks. So, final segment. What are we going to do in this segment? Twitter questions, shout-outs to patrons, and yes, I'm going to open up the show to the stream chat. Those who cheer, sub, and tip questions will have priority, but those who just, ask questions in the stream chat will also have a chance that I'll just pick them randomly out of the stream chat and answer them, okay? All right, here we go, folks. Let's begin. First of all, shout-outs to the following patrons. These are people who have been ongoing pledgees to my Patreon at patreon.com/darksidephil, and they earned the perk level to get a verbal shout-out in this month's Ask the King. All right, so thank you to you guys. You're awesome. Quite frankly, you guys are the ongoing longtime supporters who allow me to continue to do this as a job in a big way. In particular, when equipment failures and stuff happen. Like, for example, my monitor just a couple weeks ago died out of nowhere, and I had to buy a new one on the fly. It's help from people like the patrons who allow me to do that, okay? So, let's do some shout-outs. Thank you to the following. The Spicoli, Orlando Del Valle, Brightside Viking, M, Tom Dooley, Mitch RV Guy, Ms. Monique, Jake Smith, Peanut Brother, M Doyle 99, Speedy7, Jared Jackson, Villix, Abdulrahman Al Thani, Fallen 1570, Big Toe 995, Infinite 55, Casey Wood, Planet Jeff, Louise Ava, Thomas McDonald, Sean Given, Mike Hunt 2018, Last Rambo 341, Jamie Ford, QPZMWN, Mayer Muracho, Deep Drive, Colton Hotchkiss, Jordan J, Raleek, Stormforce Gamer, Atlas Telemon, Richie7, Brian Ripple, Show Krayos, Guitar Player 1939, Omo Job, Bobby Portlock, Michael Denealt, Christian, Christine Gebhardt, Erwin Hames, Proto, Hank Duma, and last but not least, Colton Bray. Thank you guys for your ongoing cheers, your ongoing support, and in particular to these people for their patron pledges, which I very much appreciate. Okay? All right, let us now get to Twitter questions, which is its own page, my own final page here. Twiddle questions. What's a twiddle? I don't know if I want to know. Sounds like a whole different kind of website. Okay. Got some hot tea here to help me with my throat this show. So again, thank you guys who are being patient. I got my color-changing Batman mug from Loot Crate like years ago, right? Pretty cool, though. All right. The time has come. Twitter questions. Here we go. First off, from Kekin. What's going on, Kekin? Good to hear you. Good to see you and hear your question is what I should have said. I completely said that backward. All right. Kekin says the following. He asks, what about getting better at fighting games? Mostly Super Turbo and Marvel vs. Capcom 2 was the biggest barrier for you. Fundamentals are key, but never enough. All right. This is a great question, Kekin. And honestly, my answer to this question would be very different from a modern gamer who's only been around since, say, the era of Street Fighter 4. All right. Back in the day, when games like Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, Capcom vs. SNK 2, and Marvel vs. Capcom 2 were the Big Four. It was actually called the Big Four. These were the 4 big fighting games from like the very late 90s all the way until Street Fighter 4 was released. And what was that, 2008, right, in arcades, and then 2009 on consoles? That's a long time. We're talking almost a decade where there were only 4 games that were the major Capcom fighters that held the position of what you would play if you went to a competitive Capcom fighting game tournament, okay? So, why was it different back then versus now? Very simple. Ladies and gentlemen, those games were not readily available on consoles as perfect arcade ports. When they did finally have console versions that were accepted as a version good enough for tournament, there was no online play. The online play that existed back then for games like Capcom vs. SNK 2, Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, was a joke. Laggy as hell. I mean, monstrous online delay. when you tried to play those games online, like on consoles like Xbox, the original Xbox, not Xbox One, the original Xbox. It just wasn't viable. The only way that you could get tournament experience and or learn high level fundamentals and gameplay in those games was to travel. You had to travel. Your physical body had to go to tournaments to play people in person to learn how to play these games. Now, to some extent, it got better over the years. For example, some people bring up, oh, like Super Turbo, you could play it emulated. Yeah, you could play it on MAME and other emulators. You could eventually play it online. But initially, there was no way to play these games whatsoever with a legit online experience. You had to go. Money, time, investment, right? It's a lot of things that went into that. You know, during that time period, late 90s to 2007, when I actually retired pretty much from being a pro level gamer around 2007. That's where I really hung up the mantle. And yes, I played Street Fighter 4 and other games after that, but I never really was at that level where I was so serious about constantly traveling and playing in every tournament and everything like that. Okay, seriously, it was so different. First of all, it was very grassroots. When you went to the tournaments back then, there was no big prize pools or anything. You were playing for the love of the game. You would go to a tournament like ECC, East Coast Championships, or Midwest Championships, or Texas Showdown, or Final Round down in Atlanta, or Evo on the West Coast. You wouldn't go to those tournaments because you were hoping to place and win. You were going to learn. It was a learning experience. It was like, the ins and outs of how to play the game on a basic level, and maybe you have some advanced strategies that work back home, but when you go to this tournament, it's going to be your very first exposure to top level strategies and things that people have worked out in their own local areas. There was no video sharing on the internet. People weren't recording tournaments and putting strategies and posts up on the internet about it. You had to be there to see it, to know what was happening. And a lot of times you would go to a tournament. I remember many times I would go to a tournament. Oh my God, this guy's using a weird combination of a team in Marvel vs. Capcom 2 we've never seen before. It works. We didn't even know this character was viable. Now with this particular combination of team, this team's amazing. And here you go, and you would learn and see new things and new strategies every single time you went to a tournament. You get exposed to strategies and gameplay elements you'd never even seen before because you didn't have that instant share attitude that you now have in the modern gameplay era, okay? So, that being said, it also was just as much about the social experience. Yeah, I'm going to go to Texas Showdown, and I'm going to fight against people from all over the country. But at the same time, I get to hang out with them. I get to meet them. People from all walks of life. People of all races and creeds. Literally, Street Fighter is a multicultural experience. You could go to a Street Fighter tournament and there's people of every race and creed. It's amazing to see people who literally are filthy rich, people who have literally nothing and had to borrow money or scrape by or borrow things to get to the tournament. People, like I said, all different cultures. It's amazing. I met so many cool people over the years, had so many, friendships and rivalries and awesome experiences being a part of the competitive Street Fighter community. And that was half the fun. It wasn't just about the game. It was also the social atmosphere and just kind of hanging out with the guys and having a lot of fun and sharing life experiences, gameplay experiences with others. It was really amazing. And I really honestly enjoyed it just as much for the social side as for learning the games, okay? Now, here's the thing, Kekken. Things are different now. In the modern era, a game comes out, within a week, everyone's played it, streamed it all over the internet, figured out all the top level strategies, shared it in videos, done. The game's already broken by week 2, and it's all done. You know what I mean? With games like Super Turbo, Marvel vs. Capcom, that didn't happen. You had a slow, gradual progression of people who would finally get together from around the country and learn these different strategies off of each other to the point where finally they would have this high-level gameplay. And they would finally have, oh, yes, here it is, the epitome. After 2-3 years of playing this game at a tournament level, we went to EVO and saw the highest level gameplay we've ever seen in our lives. It's crazy. And that's why games like Super Turbo, Marvel vs. Capcom 2, they have such a long lifespan. Are you kidding me? Third Strike is still played. And it's like, why do they still hold up? Because they weren't destroyed and torn apart and completely shared with everyone within 2 days. So that being said, it's a very different experience. That was it. It was so different. I loved it. I mean, honestly, Super Turbo, even though that's the game I'm the best at, wasn't the game that originally that I was interested in playing competitively. That was always a side tournament that I would play in, but I was more interested in the Marvel vs. Capcom series. And honestly, I was never a high-level tournament player who could go to Evo and place at a game like that. Me, it was more locals, and the locals I was do well. In Connecticut or New York, I would do good. But whenever I went to like a national level tournament, because I didn't have enough exposure, I didn't know what was going on in that game. People would hand me my ass with shit I never seen before. What the fuck is this? But then Super Turbo, naturally, and I just progressively got better and better at the game, getting exposed to it more and playing more and more people, and it ended up becoming that I was one of the best players in the country at that game, which was really cool. So, okay. Next question is from Shrek Ogre. And Shrek Ogre asks, with the new full remakes of games like Crash Bandicoot and Secret of Mana being released recently, what other games from your childhood would you like seeing a similar update? Definitely some of the classics from my childhood. Super Mario World with new modernized graphics and new levels. Legend of Zelda Link to the Past, modernized graphics. And maybe better saving options. Chrono Trigger is a no-brainer. I can't believe they haven't made remade Chrono Trigger. That game is so good. That game, if they modernized the graphics and just made it like, it blows my mind. Chrono Trigger was never remade. When back then, people were like, "This is an amazing game. It's groundbreaking for a turn-based RPG." What it did, and multiple endings, multiple things that you do affecting different plot lines in the game. Yet it never got a re-release or nothing. You know, yeah, okay, it was on the Game Boy Advance, but it's the same game. You know what I mean? Like, it never got redone. It blows my mind that it never did. Right? So, definitely those. And also, Final Fantasy 4 and 6. Yes, they've had ports and reports and shit like that. But, the truth of the matter is that I think that they need a modernized re-release. We need to have a modernized re-release of these games with better graphics, improvements. If they had voice acting and shit, oh my god. You kidding me? Those stories of Final Fantasy 4 and 6 are better than the stories of 95% of games in the modern era. So to redo those games with voice acting and everything would be amazing. But will they ever do it? Probably not. All right. Shady Sands says, Phil, I've been watching since the beginning. I feel like I'm a completely different person than I was back then. Do you feel the same? I would say yes and no. Do I still every day come out with an honest mentality, just playing a game at face value, having fun with it, digging around a little bit, you know, trying to you know, just share my honest gameplay experiences with you guys on a daily basis? Yes, and being completely honest, if you watch my videos from, say, 2010 versus my videos in 2014 versus my videos today in 2018, you're probably going to see that it's almost the same. It's not, I really haven't changed that much. The audio may sound a little different, right? Or the visual quality is different, but the style of video I put out still to this day is very similar, okay? In the most part, or the most way, I'd say I've stayed true to who I am over the years and tried not to change that core aspect of what I do. But as a person, absolutely, I'm way less closed-minded. I used to be so obstinate. What I believe is true, even if I don't have all the facts. I'm right, you're wrong. You know, just think of the shit that I said about games like Minecraft and stuff over the years with no information whatsoever and just saying stupid shit. Now, at least when people ask me these questions, I was like, listen, I can't give you an informed opinion if I don't have all the facts, if I don't have all the knowledge. I can't give you a big, you know, opinion on something that I really don't know about, you know. That's the thing. Back then, I literally would be saying, you know, crazy stuff that I didn't even understand. And now I'm very more relaxed. I'm more open-minded to criticism. People constantly make suggestions and things for improvement, and I listen. I mean, think about it. I'm a live streamer now. I'm a live streamer full-time. YouTube is just my backup on my live streams, right? How different is this from what I used to do? You know, so different. I've changed and evolved over the years many, many ways. So I would definitely say, especially if you've been along the lines of me since 2008, now in 2018, definitely as a person, I've grown, I've changed, I've become way more mature, that's for sure. I'm certainly a lot more battle-hardened than I was back then. But at the same time, the core of what I do remains the same. I try to remain true to myself and the kind of video that I want to put out. And I hope that you guys agree with me that at least for the most part, I've kind of stayed in line with what I've always wanted to do. Okay? All right. Next question from Artur Boy. He says, Phil, if you had more spare income, what changes would you make to your whole model? Would you build a better PC and do more PC gaming? Would you ease up on the Patreon? Would you stream less hours but with higher quality content? Would you play more games that you would like to play? Out of all the things you suggested, if I had unlimited funds, I would get a better gaming PC so that I could do high-level PC gaming. One would just be capturing and streaming. One would be the gaming, all right? I would get a better TV right away. The TV would be priority 1, and the PS4 would probably be priority 2 because my PS4 has audio issues. Constantly, audio not working. I have to unplug, replug cords and shit. It might be dying soon, so TV, PS4 in that order. Then probably it would be like PC or something like that. But yeah, those would be the equipment upgrades, at least, that I would make, for sure. In regards to streaming schedule, I mean, yeah, it would be nice if I didn't have to stream as much as I do. I mean, right now, I said my voice, I'm killing me. It would have been good to be able to take today off and rest my voice, sure, but, you know, right now I can't. To maybe take, you know, a couple days off a week from streaming, right? And instead of worrying about streaming, like we already talked about on the show, some bigger guys, bigger than me, who can afford to do it, they don't stream every day. Instead, they stream 3-4 days, and then the other 3 days, they're editing their content, so they have edited videos for YouTube. Would I eventually like to do that? I mean, if I made enough money to do it, yeah, but I'm not in that situation, right? Ideally, the biggest change I would like to make is exactly the last thing that you suggest, be able to play more games that I want to play. There are games that I've always wanted to play. Final Fantasy IV, the Suikoden series, Lost Odyssey, amongst just a small few of the ones that, but games that I've always wanted to play for YouTube / now Twitch, and I know I can't, because if I were to take the time to do it, no one would watch. Oh, this game's old. Why is Phil playing this? You know? And it sucks because there's games that I know I would absolutely love. Games from my youth that if I played them, people would love. Or a game like Lost Odyssey, a game that I played before I had started on YouTube, but I really liked, but it's a really long, difficult JRPG with grinding. And I know people would, during the grinding, it's not going to be entertaining or whatever. So that being said, you know, I have to basically base what I do off of a balance. Could I sit here and play the games I want to play all day? No. I go out of business. But at the same time, you know, I do want to kind of... That's why right now, even though I'm playing Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, which I did want to play, by the way, I'm also playing PUBG, which, you know, is a good social experience, kind of a deal, much different. I'm also playing Secret of Mana, a throwback classic playthrough to my youth. So I've got a balance of stuff, right? But if I could just play whatever the fuck I wanted because I had unlimited funds, I would go back and play some of the games a lot more often that I definitely want to play. How is it I've been doing content for 10 years and I still haven't played all the games from my youth that I really like and I would like to share with you guys, right? See what I mean? So there you go. All right. Shout out to Scream King 09. He says, how do you feel about games that end on cliffhangers and never get a sequel? As someone who experienced with the 2008 Prince of Persia game, as much as I love that game, the ending pissed me off royally. You got to be careful when you're a game developer in the modern era, because you never know. And that's a good example. 2008 Prince of Persia, never got a continuation. Too Human, oh my god, here's a game that was in development hell for a long time. Got a lot of press when it finally released. Cliffhanger ending, not well received. Whole series canceled. Wow. There's a few. I'm trying to think of some games that have cliffhanger endings that never continued. But yeah, you got to be careful. You can't take anything for granted in the modern gaming era, especially with publisher guidelines, like we already talked about on the show, pushing for games to come out early and then they're unfinished and people don't like them, and all kinds of, you never know, negative press can kill you in the modern age. So you can't. If you're going to have a game, you have to assume this will be the final game in the series, have a definitive ending. If you want to have the possibility of continuing. Oh, here's a good one. Mass Effect Andromeda. That game didn't even have a fucking ending. That game's like, oh, you stopped one guy, but there's still another guy out there who you know, is going to cause problems or whatever. It's never addressed, and now Mass Effect Andromeda's done. You know, BioWare's come out and said, we are not planning to do any more work on Mass Effect Andromeda. It's over. So, a one game, one and done, with no definitive ending to the story, so everyone who played the shit out of the game basically got ripped off, right? See what I mean? You can't do that. You have to assume that the game's going to, this is it. This is your final chance, right? You got to do it good and have a definitive ending. You know, Mass Effect 1 had a definitive ending. It did. Now, it left it open-ended for continuation, but Mass Effect 1 had a definitive ending. There's no reason for them to have an open end, right? Yeah, definitely in this day and age, it's bullshit, and you have to assume your game is the last in the series, no matter what. Okay. Shout out to Suck a Surprise, who asked the following. Phil, you're constantly being asked to play Street Fighter V despite hating the game. Any chance that you'd set a subscriber count goal for having a day of Street Fighter V? You'd probably bring in tons of subscribers and get people to stop nagging you about the game. All right, listen. The only way I would play Street Fighter V, there would have to be conditions. Yes, number one, it would have to be like a reward goal. If people were so, wow, Phil hit, a certain number of subs on his channel this month, celebratory goal, he'll play Street Fighter V. But I'm only going to play the free content. Understand, I'm not buying a single DLC character. I refuse to spend any more money. It would just be whatever the free new update, because I'd re-download Street Fighter V. I'm sure Arcade Edition is included. And I would just play whatever the base vanilla is available. I'm not spending any fucking money on that piece of shit game. There's no way Capcom will get another penny from me out of that game. So, oh my god, excuse me. Yes, I would consider doing it. All right, absolutely. I would consider doing it. But it would have to be a celebratory goal for hitting a significant amount of subs, maybe 1 month here on Twitch. And it would be very, very strict criteria. Only playing free content. Maybe checking out the characters, now I'm sure that they've been changed or whatever, and trying online play or whatever, and only sticking to that. But here's the thing, and this is what everyone has to understand. This is what everyone has to understand. Okay? Making this clear way up front before this ever becomes a Twitch goal or whatever. I have not played Street Fighter V since 2016. I am 2 years behind the learning curve on this game. And no, I don't have free time to sit there and watch tournament level videos and try to figure out high level strategies for each character. I'm going to be going in blind like I do with every game. So I could barely remember anything from the game, 2 years ago. Now I'm going to be going in and trying to play the game. More than likely, I'm going to suck. I'm not going to know anything about combos or nothing. I'm going to get my ass handed to me, and I'm going to do terrible at the game. It's just going to happen, and there's not much you can do about it. I'm not going to, like I said, I can't go back and have hours and weeks to just practice this game and play it, to relearn it at a high level. I'm just basically going to get my ass handed to me constantly. I know that's what's going to happen. Have to cast are new characters I've never even seen before. So how the hell am I going to fight that? You know what I mean? And since I'm not spending any extra money, I can't even play with those characters to learn how to play with them or fight against them. I won't even know what their moves are because I'm not spending any extra money on the fucking game. See what I mean? So basically, would I play it for a laugh? People want to see me get my ass handed to me and play this fucking game? Okay, but don't expect anything good from it. It's not going to be an ongoing thing I play all the time. I'm certainly not going to like it. It would 100% be a reward for hitting a sub goal, and think of it that way. Not legitimate gameplay, legitimate playthrough, nothing. It would just be a silly thing to do as a reward, and that's it. Okay? Okay. And the final question, before we head to the open Q&A for the streamers, the stream viewers, Mr. Swaggins says, do you have any tips for anxiety? You've been through a lot. How do you manage to not let it destroy you mentally? It could be a huge challenge for some people. Listen, for me, and this is really the only advice I can give you. I already gave you advice on, it's the positivity of the things that I do for work that lets me push through all the negativity and shit thrown my way. But when it comes to anxiety, like, oh my God, I'm nervous. I'm going to be in front of, hundreds of people today on stream. And what if I flub it? What if I'm not entertained? How about, it doesn't bother me. The reason being, folks, it's very simple. Even though I know this is my job and everything, just don't take anything too seriously. Just don't take anything too seriously. You know, a time when I felt like I thought I was going to be nervous and I got right through it? When I was doing conventions. When I was going to do a convention and I knew there were going to be people coming, traveling to see me in person, to meet me in person, to see a panel or whatever. I had pressure that I needed to do something entertaining and fun. You know what? Once I just basically did it naturally and I didn't worry so much about, oh God, what if I fuck this up and it's terrible? It's not a big deal. Life is not a big deal. If one thing happens in life that ain't so good, there's going to be a million other things coming in life that are going to replace the importance of that one thing. Seriously. Some people, what it is they place so much emphasis on one thing. There's one big thing coming up, and I'm just going to sit here and worry and have all this, unsettledness and anxiety about this one thing that's coming up. I'm never like that. I'm not. Even though, yes, there are big events that I have to focus on, I don't let one thing permeate me or overcome me or make me worry constantly about. I try not to worry about stuff too much. I go with the flow. And yeah, sometimes there's big nagging things on my back. But right now, quite honestly, the thing nagging me, taxes. These taxes coming up in April. I'm very nervous. I'm going to be told you owe $5,000 to $10,000 in taxes. I don't have it. I maybe have a couple thousand saved up, from December and the last couple of months. I don't have that kind of money. What am I going to do if I'm told you owe these taxes in April? I'm going to have to rely on busting my ass, working my butt off, trying to help, get drives going here on stream. You know what I mean? That is nagging at me. But if I just let that become a big ball of anxiety, that every day all I did was worry about that behind the scenes, I was negative and nasty, and all I ever did was talk about money, no one would come to my streams. No one would want to see me play games, have fun. No one would want to see that shit, right? If everything is always about the negativity and worry, no one wants to come, watch Phil have fun, play games. So I don't let it get to me. I'm like, whatever. I'm going to find a way to get past it. Worst case scenario, something goes bad, eventually I have to sell my house, I'll find a way around it. I just, I got to keep having that mentality. I'm going to keep pushing forward. Things are still going to work out positively. If I let that ball of anxiety against every little thing against me wire me up and wind me up, I'll never get anything done. That's just the mentality I've always had. Okay, folks? All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, I had a couple cheers here. I'll give shout-outs to I Have Forgotten and Intelligent Human 1488. However, the cheers that they said were questions I'm not willing to answer because they're drama questions and or things that I don't feel that I'm well-versed enough to answer. So I'm not going to. So, we now have maybe about 15 minutes left in the show. What I will do is open it up. If anyone wants to cheer, sub, or tip to get priority and ask me a question, or if not, if people just want to start answering or asking me questions in the stream chat, okay, I'd be more than happy to start answering questions, all right? So here we go. First one. Mr. Swaggins just did a cheer. He said, I'm sorry, but the whole Street Fighter V idea is not good as a Patreon reward. Reason being, these rewards are not fun. I don't find it a reward to watch if you're not having fun. That's the thing. I know for a fact if I play Street Fighter V as a Patreon reward, I'm not going to like the game. I'm not going to have fun because I'm going to be 2 years behind. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's an opportunity for me to lose and get my ass handed to me. And I think that's what people want. They want to see me play this game and not enjoy it and get my ass handed to me in a fighting game. Those are the people who want to see that as a goal. It's not people who actually like the game or like to see me enjoy games. It's the trolls. The trolls are dying to see me fuck up in Street Fighter V and laugh, and then they can make videos. This is how you don't play a game that Phil didn't play for 2 years. There's no way he would know how to play it anyway, but this is how you don't play. Because they got the mentality of mind-melted 5-year-olds who are sucking on a fucking ice pop and had brain freeze, and they can't even fucking think straight. This is the fucking maturity level of these idiots. Despite the fact I've said over and over and over, I would not enjoy Street Fighter V. They're dying to see me play it. Anyway, I agree with you, Mr. Swaggins. Sarai Car just did a 500-bit cheer. Thank you very much, Sarai Car, for the large cheer. Generous, thank you. He says, Phil, this may be controversial. Oh, boy. Let's see what he says. I have no idea what he's going to ask here. Feel free to not answer if you don't want to. What are your thoughts on the hype of Black Panther with African Americans? As an African American myself, I have found I am lost in the hype behind it, seeing it when there has been numerous movies before with an African lead or African American cast, example like Blade. Okay, interesting question. I think I could tackle it maturely and not do too bad of a job, so let's do it. It's absolutely true, all right? It's absolutely true that Black Panther is getting ridiculous amounts of praise. People are saying it's like the best superhero movie ever. It made more money in 4 days than Justice League did in 3 months. You know what I mean? Like, it beat Deadpool. It beat this movie. It beat that. Everyone's talking about how it's beaten every movie. It's the best super movie ever. Now, some people have said we went to see it. It's a good movie, but we don't feel it's the best superhero movie ever. But we definitely think it's up there with some of the best superhero movies. So we understand why it's getting the praise it's getting. But why, then, is Black Panther all of a sudden getting so much press? Why is everyone kissing its butt? And I think a big mentality here, honestly, and, well, with being said, I think it actually is a movie that should be applauded. It's got a primarily African-American cast and or maybe not African-American, but it's got a black cast because we don't know. Maybe they're not African-Americans. Maybe they're from other countries. I have no idea. Okay. But very talented black actors, a plot line around, what is it, Wakanda, which is a country, mythical country in Africa. It doesn't really exist, but a what-if scenario if, Africans had this vibranium as a resource and they were able to create this really advanced society. You know what I mean? Not that they're right now, all you hear, honestly, and it's kind of fucked up, all you hear about Africans is, oh, there's disease and poverty over there. That's all you ever hear. right? So what if it were the complete opposite? If they were this super advanced but reclusive society who, because of vibranium and high technology, they were afraid of the rest of the world getting their technology and misusing it for the wrong reasons. And then on the flip side, there was a group of people there who felt that the technology should be used for them to take over the world because they're powerful and hyper intelligent. It's a very interesting plot, and it actually gives a lot of attention to a culture and to a race that doesn't usually get that kind of attention when it comes to pop culture. Let's face it. I mean, a lot of movies, I'm again just generalizing here, but a lot of movies, African Americans don't get a good treatment, right? They're the criminal, they're the druggie or the scumbag, the gangbanger. You don't get a lot of positive reinforcement in a lot of the modern era when it comes to black people. And Black Panther's the opposite. It's like there could be superheroes. They could be of their own civilization, their own race and all this, So I understand, especially if you are an African American and you watch this movie. Wow, this is like the complete polar fucking opposite of everything that Hollywood has fed us in the past 15, 20 years, right? It's so different, right? So I get it. And I understand why this movie is getting the very positive press it's getting. Now, personally, I haven't seen the movie, so I just let you guys know. I don't know if it's good or bad. This is me just talking about what I've heard about the movie. I think it's a good thing. And honestly, there should be more representation of what are considered non-white primary casts in movies. Yes, the world is you may not realize this, folks. The world is multicultural. Did you know there's other races than whites? Wow, I didn't know that. Sometimes if you watch Hollywood, you wouldn't fucking know that. You watch these things, what the fuck? Now the good news is, the past 5-10 years, you're seeing a lot more diverse cast. You're seeing a lot more diverse plot lines and stories. That's a good thing. But then on the flip side, Ghost in the Shell, the Major's played by fucking Scarlett Johansson. What? Huh? What is going on? You see what I mean? It's that Hollywood whitewashing bullshit that is just so stupid. And it's like, why? It's so dumb. So I understand. I totally, 100% understand why Black Panther is getting the hype it's getting. Now, it's true because it's funny. I've heard people saying, did you realize there were already black superheroes? Like the whole Blade trilogy of movies in the 90s that were big and were very popular at the time where the African-American guy was in the lead. Why don't we talk about that, right? Now, okay, fair enough. But can you really mention another one? All right, Falcon's a side character in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Spawn. Spawn had one movie. It wasn't a good movie, and it went nowhere. Yeah, he was a black superhero in the comics, but he never really got much attention. It was kind of unfortunate that he didn't get more attention because that was a really well-written series of comics and stuff from Tom McFarlane. It was Tom McFarlane. And it was funny because I was actually talking with my friend Brian on Twitter the other day, and he's mentioning other superheroes, and I was like, no one remembers Blank Man. Remember him? Fucking Blank Man. And then Brian came back to me and says, what about Meteor Man? And I'm thinking, oh my God, there really were a bunch of horrible, parody comedy superhero movies in the 80s and 90s with black casts that were terrible. They weren't taken seriously. They were joke characters. I'm like, man, that's crazy that they made all these shitty movies, right? Now here's the thing. There have not been, the problem is there's not enough variety in Hollywood. There's just not. There's not enough. When you look at the top movies, here's the top 10 movies this year, and 9 of them are all crappy, first of all, movies you never heard of, right? No one else fucking saw these movies. No one knows what the fuck they are. And then number 2, it's all white cast. It's like, what the fuck is it? You know what I mean? There needs to be more variety in Hollywood. I agree. I like multiculturalism. I'm not saying force it. Don't change a character that's supposed to be white to be black just for the sake of getting a black actor in there. Fantastic Four. But at the same time, right, give more opportunities to have more multicultural stories and characters that are different races. I want to see more of that. And to see Black Panther be a movie that actually did that and also was a great movie. It wasn't just, here's a movie with a bunch of black people and black actors as superheroes. Oh, by the way, the movie's not very good, but let's celebrate it because they're all black. I mean, I hate to say it, the Ghostbusters reboot was kind of like that a couple years ago. Here's a movie with all female comedians in it. The movie kind of blows, but let's just celebrate it because it's all female women, or all female cast, and we should just say it's good. No, That's not. But Black Panther's the opposite. People are all saying, no, the movie's actually great. It could have been, it doesn't matter what color the cast is. The movie's great no matter what. Plus, to boot, you got some multiculturalism thrown in there. That's cool, okay? But I also agree, let's not just praise the movie because everyone's black in it. Let's praise the movie because it's a good fucking movie. All right? Okay. Let's go down here. Wow, I got a lot of cheers out of nowhere. Mr. Sweat. Oh, no, hold on. Sprankin did a stupid cheer I'm not reading. Anonysaurus Rex apologized for a mishap. Don't worry about it. But then he says, was Get Out being nominated for an Oscar racially motivated? I like the film, but it's not that great. I don't know. See, here's the thing. I'm not involved with the Academy. I don't know how I don't even know what the process is that they nominate movies. I really don't. I saw the movie. I liked it. Was I in love with it as one of the best movies of the year? I don't know. I didn't see a lot of movies last year. Maybe it was just was it a slow year for movies? Because it was a solid movie. I liked it. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was very suspenseful. But I'm not equipped to answer a question like that. I'm not. Am I a movie buff? Yes, but not modern movies. I don't watch every modern movie. And in particular, this last year, I watched a lot less because I, strapped for cash. I stopped renting every new movie that came out, and instead I was watching a lot of stuff that was free on demand, Amazon Prime. When I got Netflix, I watch the movies that are on there, but I'm not spending $5, $10 a pop to watch movies anymore. So, honestly, Anonysaurus, I can't really answer your question. Lee Wanner cheered. He said, I recently watched your old video where you announced that you had gotten laid off from your job. It was super cool and nostalgic. Your life and channel had a very different ethos. Think you might stream a reaction to seeing it again after so long. Maybe, that could be one of the things I do for my 10th anniversary. Because my 10th anniversary, for those who are actually interested, happens this fall. And I'm actually going to have a line of anniversary product on Teespring and stuff like that. Maybe what I'll do is a special thing. Maybe we could watch that video together on Twitch, and I can pause it and give my reactions to what I think about it, right? It could be interesting. Good suggestion. Olivisaurus just cheered and said, do you have any public speaking tips? I always get nervous during these, and I hate it. See, that's the thing. For me, quite honestly, public speaking tips, speak from the heart. Don't worry about being the most in etiquette. I must say this in the least amount of words, and I must not stumble on my words, and it must sound professional. It's not a big deal. Just get your point across. Be real. People will get that. You know what I mean? And like I said about the anxiety question earlier, don't let it get to you. Don't freak out about it. Up to the point. It's time for me to come up publicly and say something. You go up, you're done. It's not a big deal. If you flub it, oh no, I dropped my word. Make a quick joke about it. I forgot my words. Okay, back to it, and then you get into it. Don't take it too seriously. The people who really fail at that kind of stuff, they take it so fucking seriously, and then they crumble and fall apart when they make a mistake or they forget. You know what I mean? They forget a line. You can't. Don't take it so seriously. Be more relaxed, laid back, and there you go. Big Tone to the 50-bit series is, what movie do you want to see most when it comes out to rent, since you don't have the chance to see it in theaters? Man, there's been a lot. I didn't see Star Wars, The Last Jedi. I want to see that. Obviously Black Panther. What was the other movie that came out that I didn't see? Thor Ragnarok. Everyone told me it was great. I didn't see it. That's one I'd like to see on demand. Outside of that, did anything else really come out recently? And a lot of people say I should watch Justice League. I'm thinking I might just never watch it. I never watched Wonder Woman. And I think I'm pretty sure that's like $2 now to rent. I don't even care. The DC Cinematic Universe is so dead to me. I don't even give a fuck. So maybe Justice League. I don't know. I want to see Infinity War in theaters, though. I do. That's a movie I want to see in theaters. That's going to be a fucking badass movie, I think. So there you go. Shout out to, it says Kozatov has resubscribed for the 3rd month in a row. Thank you, Kozatov. I could have sworn his sub was gifted, but if it's not, thank you, Kozatov. If not, thank you to whoever gifted the sub. I'm not sure. Derpy just cheered and said, Phil, how do you feel about Blanca as a main in Ultra Street Fighter 2? Blanca, I'm going to be honest with everyone. Even the people who, over the years, were the best Blanca players. The best American Blanca player, in my opinion, was Nahoho. Rest in peace, sir, by the way. He was amazing with Blanca. He constantly would complain the game isn't fun to play with Blanca, because even though he could every once in a while squeak out a win, Blanca has the least amount of tools whatsoever in Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. Okay, he just does. He's very weak. In Ultra Street Fighter 2, they tweaked him ever so slightly to be slightly better, but he still doesn't hold a candle. The reason Blanca is so bad, or so good in online Ultra Street Fighter 2 is because the connections are so bad, it's impossible to stop certain strategies that he has where you need to be reactionary. You need to react with either an anti-air or walk under him when he's jumping or block a certain way. You need to be able to do this, and you cannot do it in the game because the online connections in Ultra Street Fighter 2 on the Switch are too abysmally bad. So here's an example of a character in a tournament setting is the worst in the game, but in an online setting is actually viable only because the online changes the core gameplay mechanics of the game. Saraikar did another 500-bit cheer. He says, thanks for your thoughts and insight. And low-key forgot Hancock. Yeah, Hancock, another, again, a lot of people didn't like Hancock, but Hancock, another superhero movie with an African-American lead, right? There you go, but no one brings it up. Anonysaurus Rex did another cheer. Thank you, Anonysaurus Rex, for the cheer. I appreciate that. Bayless the Go just subscribed to the channel. Thank you, Bayless the Go, for the sub. I appreciate that. Big Tone just did a 100-bit cheer. He says, I'm actually going to E3 this year. Are there any tips or pointers that you'd recommend I check out while I'm there? Also, my first time to the West Coast. Any recommendations would be appreciated since you've been there before. Okay. First of all, parking's a bitch. Just gonna warn you. Parking's a motherfucker. Even when I went there in 2012, which I'm sure was much smaller than what it's going to be this year because now they have public entry and everything to it, I had to park at least 10 to 15 minutes walking distance away. It's downtown LA. There's parking everywhere, but it's expensive as fuck. So just prepare for a walk. Prepare to pay for parking. It's going to be a pain in the dick. Prepare for long lines to get into the thing. For me, I lucked out because I had the vendor pass because I was part of Machinima at the time. So I was able to get in early on the third day and actually see a lot of stuff early. But outside of that, you will be standing and waiting a lot. Just to forewarn you, it's going to be a lot of fucking waiting. And there ain't a damn thing you can do about it. You're going to wait and wait and fucking wait some more. Quite honestly, what I would say is once you get there, do a quick canvassing of the entire floor to see what's there. And what you need to do is prioritize exactly what you want to see. All right? Because you're probably not going to be able to see everything you want. For example, Resident Evil 6, even having the freaking vendor pass, was about an hour wait for me to finally get in and play Resident Evil 6. And while I was doing that, I wasn't able to do several other things that I wanted to do. Metal Gear Rising Revengeance. That was one. That was about an hour and a half wait to get into. Injustice. It was Injustice. But this was when they were first promoting the very first Injustice. They had not a panel, but a room where they showed off the gameplay. And Ed Boon described the game to everyone, which was pretty cool. But that was a big wait. So in one day, realistically, if you're going to wait for the things that take a while, you may get 4 or 5 things done. Keep in mind that E3 is not a 24-hour thing. It only opens at like, what, 9, 10 in the morning. It's only open to like 6 or 7 at night. So you can only fit in a certain amount of things. Another recommendation is, again, be prepared to pay a lot of money if you're going to eat there because they got shitty food. It's going to be like vendors giving pretzels and hot dogs and shit. A little mini food court, you get crappy pizza that's like $10. Bottles of water are like $5. It's very much like going to like a sports game where you're going to get really scalped for that stuff, okay? Just to forewarn you, it's bad. You got to go with a lot of money to get to E3 and have a good time, okay? Bathroom waits are pretty unbearable too. You're going to be waiting like 45 minutes to take a piss. So all these things to forewarn you. But my best advice would be to make a definitive list of the things you absolutely want to see while you're there. Don't just willy-nilly go from one thing to the other. Because what if, let's say you go here, 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 and then by the end of your day, the last day you're there, oh, are you kidding me? This was in the corner the whole time. I didn't know and I wanted to see it. And now there's not enough time to wait and get into it, right? Also, understand something that I found out, at least it was back in 2012. Apparently, even if you have the best pass, you still can't see everything. Like, I had the Machinima vendor pass. They wouldn't let me in to see Beyond Two Souls. They wouldn't let me in to see... Oh, what was the other one? There were 2 games I wanted to see real bad. They wouldn't let me in. I'm like, what the hell pass do you fucking want me to have? You know? Ridiculous. Why are there super VIPs that get to see certain games and not other people? It makes no fucking sense. It really is a kind of who do you know, nudge, nudge, good old boys club. Oh, I know you from Sony. Come on in and see the game. It's stupid. But at the same time, it is a cool thing. I'm actually glad I did it once just to know what it was. In the future, could I get in? Yes, because now the difference is now if you have a public presence. like a YouTube channel with a lot of views, a Twitch channel with a lot of views. You could get in it as a press pass. So I could get into E3 this year if I wanted to, if I did the work. But honestly, like I said, money-wise and everything, it's not worth it. Would I eventually go back to E3? Maybe. But for me, I know, quite frankly, I could pretty much effectively cover everything at E3 from home. Because everything's over the web. All the conferences are over the web. You can see the videos of all the games over the web. You don't really need to be there in person. The only advantage you get is a little bit of hands-on with a couple games. But outside of that, there's really not a major advantage to being there in person for E3. So, it's cool you're going to go. And I hope you have a good time. I hope some of my advice has helped you out. But understand, don't expect the world. Oh my God, I went to E3, my mind is blown. It's not like that, okay? Arnity did 125-bit cheer. Thank you very much, Arnity, for the cheer. I appreciate that. And Furious Kirk 6 did a 50-bit cheer. He says, why don't you get Movie Pass to see unlimited movies monthly for a cheap price? Or Cinemia, which allows reserved seating and premium experiences. Well, first of all, I don't even know if those things are offered everywhere. I actually have the app, okay? The app for Regal Cinemas, which is the line of movie theaters that they actually have out here, okay? I am almost positive they don't have Movie Pass. It doesn't exist. Just looking through the app, all they basically have is what they call a loyalty program, where when you go there frequently to get movies at a certain theater, you get points. So you'll earn a free popcorn, earn a free movie ticket, that kind of stuff. But I don't think they have an unlimited Movie Pass here. That's not everywhere. Maybe some places have it. I'm almost positive they don't have it out here. All right, that's number one. Number two, folks, quite frankly, I don't have time. When do I have time to constantly be going out to see movies? You see how much I stream, right? And even now, with the 1 day a week now that I'm going to be taking away from live streaming, people are going to be disappointed. Phil's not streaming as much, right? I have to be here as much as I can to pay my bills, folks. It's not like, again, I hate to say it. How many times did I already say it on the show? Other bigger YouTubers and streamers who have this free time and disposable income to be going out and doing this stuff constantly. I don't have it. I'm stuck here working my butt off to pay my bills, and that's very much my reality, at least for now. Like I said, the good news is, with the focus on Twitch and everything, things have been on the up. If I can keep growth going this year, and, this year things are on the up and up, maybe within a year or two things will change, but right now, I don't have the freedom that a lot of people have. I have to work my ass off to keep paying my bills and keep what I got. So, there you go. Shout out to Fallen1570, who did a 1,020-bit cheer to become the cheerleader for today's stream. Thank you very much, Fallen, for that cheer. He says, would you ever do a BioShock 2 comeback playthrough? I don't know. I didn't like BioShock 2. The thing is, I bought BioShock Collection a couple years ago, so I have the rights to play BioShock 2 whenever I want. I can get it right now in HD on my PS4 and play it. I don't really like BioShock 2. I do feel it kind of jumped the shark a little bit. You could tell it was made by a different game dev because of the amount of game bugs the game had. Hopefully they were fixed in that HD collection. But it just didn't have a plot that gripped me. Characters that were interesting, like in the first BioShock. It really did feel like they were trying to copy what was done in the first BioShock. And I don't feel like playing as a Big Daddy, and in particular the ending, I thought was shitty. So, I don't know. Would people ever want to see me play BioShock 2 again? Another question. How many people have asked this, right? During this session, this Ask the King, will people go back and play this? If people want to see it, if there's a desire, maybe I would, but I'm not sure. Furious Kirk did another 50-bit cheer and said, Wonder Woman was actually solid, better than Justice League, which was only flawed fun. Even if you don't like Gal Gadot, which I disagree with you on, she got better. The supporting characters in both films are really good. There you go. Chairman Caleb cheered and said, I know last year you were adamant about it. Would you consider doing face cam for E3 conferences this year? I think it would be fun for all of us to watch you react to certain announcements. No, I'm not doing it. Oh my God. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm never going to do a face cam reaction video like that to E3 or anything like that. It's too much of a liability, and I think that those facial reactions to that stuff is boring. You want to know? Here would literally be me, all right, during an E3 press conference. That's me. I'm paying attention. I'm taking notes. I'm not, I'm not doing crazy, over-exaggerated live reactions like a fucking Muppet, like these other people do, to get attention from you. That's not me. I'm never going to do that. So the thing you're looking for, the reason that you think live reactions are great, you're not going to get from me. I'm not like that. I sit there, I relax, I take notes, and then I let it mull in my head for a bit. I get a formula of what I want to say, and then I do my reaction video right after, or my reaction stream right after. I'm never doing a live reaction to that kind of thing. Okay. All right, folks. Last cheer here from Bayless the Go. Says, do you have any plans for the future beyond Twitch and YouTube? You have to be prepared. Bayless, I've said this many times, and I'll say it again. There's absolutely zero ability for me to plan for anything. I don't know. Tomorrow, Twitch and YouTube could go away completely. They could blow up, and I'll be making 4 times more money than I am now. I would love to make plans. I can't make plans. I can barely pay my taxes to keep what I got. How do you make plans for the future when you don't know what's going on, right? My life for the past 10 years has been like this. And every time someone says make plans, something completely changes. So, no, I can't make plans. And I know that's crazy. Oh, my God. So he's not making concrete plans for the rest of his life. I can't. What I do is so volatile and so different, there's no way I can make plans for the future. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, that is it. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for a great Ask the King. My throat is now shot, so I'm going to take a good 3 hours, barely talking, to just trying to relax my voice. I'm going to get another lozenge right after this. Thank you very much. I hope you guys like the show. Almost 3 hours again, right? Each part was at least 45 minutes. This part's been over 50. Thank you very much. Now, FYI, if you want your questions answered on the next Ask the King, 2 ways to do it. Number 1, post them on the forums. The thread for the next show is already there on the kingofhate.com forums. You could already start posting up your questions for the next show, which is going to take place on April 26th, 2018. Or, if you want your questions answered for sure, patreon.com/darksidephil. Pledge the certain perk level. You'll get your questions answered 100% guaranteed on the next Ask the King in 2 months, okay? Wow. Shout out to Aussie Sly 47 Adam, who just did a 1,000-bit cheer. Thank you, Aussie. He says, I would rather watch The Force Unleashed 1 or Saints Row 2, not Bioshock 2. Laughing out loud. Well, I don't know. I tend to agree. Like I said, I don't think Bioshock 2 was a very good game. All right. That's it, folks. Thanks for a great Ask the King. Thank you for your support. Thanks to the patrons. Thanks to the viewers. Thanks to those who cheered, subbed, and tipped. Thank you guys very much. I appreciate it. Until next time, this is Phil signing off. Thank God I get to rest my voice now. Peace out, and see you later.